everyone, and welcome to Sharp Dress Gaming, and today we're back with some competitive stuff, finally, for Pokemon Sun and Moon. So, I am almost done breeding and EV training and leveling up and all that fun stuff with my first competitive VGC team. So I figured, let's get out a team builder. Let's get back to doing team builders so that we can work through this stuff together. Now with VGC this year, in 2017 year, I'm going to be a little more competitive. It's going to be less new teams, but more working on one specific team. We will change teams. We won't stay the same team the entire year, obviously, but it's not going to be as switched up as often as it was for 2016. But we are still going to be doing doubles battle spots, so that'll be where we'll switch up teams more often. So VGC is going to be more competitive, doubles time will be more fun, and then we're going to be doing a lot of other stuff too. So if you guys are excited for the return of competitive Pokemon to the Sharp Dress Gaming channel, be sure to hit that like button down below. Let me know that you guys want to keep seeing this stuff. But anyway, guys, so I'm gonna alert you guys first. This team's weird. This is the first. Oh, it's not the first draft of this team. This is kind of so I made this team, and then I've had it around for a little bit as I've been breeding it, and slowly I've been changing things as like I see certain things from the meta, or a lot of it was from when I watched the International Championship. So I'm going to try and explain my thought process. Of course, you guys feel free to give me your input in the comment section below. Tell me how stupid I am for certain things, or tell me what things you like, or what things I should change. And I'm going to let you know what I'm also thinking, and again, we'll be working through this team as we go. So anyway, you can see on the screen, the first one is already a what is going on kind of thing. So we have Garchomp. This is Turok the Garchomp. We have a Naive Nature, 244 in speed, 12 in special attack, and 252 in attack. With Earthquake, Rock Slide, Draco Meteor, Protect, carrying the Dragonium Z with a rough skin. So a few things I wanted to... The Garchomp was actually something that changed... I guess it's changed the most radically out of all the Pokemon, other than there was a Pokemon that completely changed Pokemon species. But as a Pokemon itself, it's changed the most as I've been using it. So this started off as a Choice Scarf Garchomp with Earthquake, Rock Slide, Dragon Claw, and Iron Head. Obviously, Poison Jab would be better for that. I don't know why I went Iron Head. But that's how it started as. And then slowly I was like... I didn't run into too many problems with having a Choice Scarf, but there were a couple times it's like, I can see why this is going to be a problem in the future, because I'll get stuck into Earthquake, and as you'll see as we go on, I've got quite a few Earthquake weaknesses, and I've also got something that stops Earthquakes from doing so much damage. So I was like, well, I don't really like that, but it is helpful to outspeed other Garchomps, and it outspeeds most of the meta. Well, it outspeed everything that isn't Choice Scarfed the way I had it. Yeah. And as you can see, I'm not running max speed. I don't even know why I have my headphones on, but I don't need them on. Oh, also, guys, if you hear like a air noise in the background, if you guys recall, from those of you who've been around the channel for a little bit, in the winter or in the summer, the AC unit was really loud in my room. Well, now that's a heat unit, and it's loud as well. So I'm going to try and get it where I can get the door to close on my closet. My room's a little messy right now, so stuff's in the way. But we'll get that mitigated as best as we can. But anyway, back to the Garchomp. So where was I with it? Oh, outspeeding things. So Choice Scarf let us outspeed a lot of stuff, so we could outspeed Tapu Koko, hit it with Earthquake, Circuitry, hit it with Earthquake. We'd outspeed non-Choice Scarfed Garchomps and hit them with Dragon Claws. But I don't know, I didn't think in the long run Choice Scarf was going to be our best option. And also it may just look a little weird that I'm 244 max speed, because I'm not going to be able to speed tie with other Garchomps. But my thought process there was, if I know I'm not going to speed tie, I don't sit there and hope for a speed tie, so I have to find other ways around it. So I just think it's a little more, I know what's going to happen for the most part, so that I can work through it. But we'll see if that ends up changing. Now, I also should try and get Tailwind on this team, because I do have a speed control, but it's not one that works against other Garchomps. So maybe we'll try and get Tailwind at some point. But The other really weird thing about this Garchomp, obviously, is Draco Meteor with Dragonium Z. Now, this is something I added after the International Championship. I kept seeing the Devastating Drake animation. I just love that animation. Probably my favorite Z move animation out of all of them. But obviously, that was coming from like Salamence and Goodra, because they can be a little more special attacking. And Garchomp isn't terrible at special attacking, but it does obviously have a much higher physical attack. Now, the reason I went for the Draco Meteor, if we go over here to this damage calcs, also, all of the websites that I'm going to be using will be in the description below. Obviously, we were just on Showdown. This is now a damage calc thing. I'll put descriptions on there so you can find these. And this is for VGC 2017. Obviously, you can see the little Mimikyu. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Apparently, that takes you to the Mimikyu music video. I did not know that. So I'm going to bring back up my Garchomp set here. We were at 252 attack, 12 in special attack, 244 in speed, naive nature, Sand Veil doesn't matter, item does not matter. Gotta go Draco Meteor, Earthquake, Rock Slide. And I'm going to put Dragon Claw in here just so you guys can see the calcs. So you can see where I was going with some of this stuff. Alright, so the first one I want to look at is against another Garchomp. So if we go with the common showdown set for Garchomp, we can see the Dragon Claw from this Garchomp does not KO our Garchomps. Obviously ours is not either because that's the same attack stat. We have the same defense stats and HP stats, obviously. So this one's got its special attack, or special defense, I put mine special attack. But you can see Draco Meteor is not, or Dragon Claw is not KOing. Whereas Draco Meteor also isn't... Draco Meteor is actually doing the same amount of damage as a Dragon Claw would, but if we put on that Z move, we one-hit KO Garchomps. So that's the biggest thing, is that we can one-hit KO while they can't, as long as they're not like Life Orb or Choice Band or something. Also another thing that came out of the International Challenge, actually the Garchomp that ended up winning the whole tournament was Assault Vest. So you can see that Assault Vest brings us back down to what Dragon Claw would be doing as far as damage goes. So yeah, if that ends up becoming a thing, we will have problems again. But as of right now, we one-hit KO Garchomps with our Z move, which is really cool. Now, if we go to Salamence, so I'm gonna talk about this right now. For some reason, I was really worried about Garchomp and Salamence. You'll see that as we go throughout the team that I calced for them quite a bit. So it's like, well, I guess we got those covered. So with this speed spread, we do outspeed max speed Salamence, which is really nice. And then we can see Draco Meteor does have a chance to KO here. Obviously, Dragon Claw will not, because Salamence has Intimidate. That drops our attack stat. But again, if we bring in the Z move, Draco Meteor guaranteed one-hit KO. Their Draco Meteor is as well as they have a chance to Dragon Pulse. But again, we're outspeeding. So, and the Z move cannot miss. So that's just a little sneaky sly tech. We have the special Dragonium Z, and essentially the only time we're going to be using Draco Meteor or Devastating Drake is against other dragons. That's the only time you ever want to use it. It doesn't do a lot of damage to anything else. You want to go like Earthquake and Rock Slide as much as you can. Rock Slide's there for flinching. It's what he does. And then Earthquake's there for the damage output. So, I did want to check against other common dragons. So Drampa was one of them. This is just the random meta guess. So you can see Draco Meteor, the Z move is going to be one-hit KOing. Without the Z move, it will not on Drampa. And then Goodra, again, I don't even think the Z move KOs Goodra. It does not. Dragon Claw does have a chance to, so that'd be the one case where the Dragon Claw is better. But we do have other Pokemon that can help us with Goodra, so I'm not super worried about it right now. We'll see how common it becomes once we actually get on the Battle Spot ladder. I've actually done nothing on the Battle Spot so far, so we'll see. So that is our Garchomp. Again, it's a little weird, but I think it might pull off a few nice KOs that people weren't expecting. So we're going to move on to the next Pokemon, which I forgot to... oh, this is Tapu Bulu. That's not what I want. Actually, yeah, let's go Tapu Bulu. So I forgot to mention that the beginning of the the thing that sparked the idea for this team actually came from somebody I follow on Twitter. Mighty Mamoswine, if you're watching this, thank you for the idea for this team. But at one point he tweeted out, he was talking about his team, I don't know, I think it was early 2017, he was talking about his team and how it gets destroyed by a Arcanine Milotic core. And I was thinking to myself, I love Arcanine and I love Milotic, and I don't think I've used them together. So this was what this team started based around. Started out with Milotic, Arcanine, and then I figured let's throw in the grass type to get the fire, water, grass core. So we have Tapu Bulu here. This is just typical Tapu Bulu, 252 HP, 252 attack, 4 in defense, Adamant Nature, Grassy Surge. It's got leftovers on it once I actually go and get the leftovers, because I still have to get that. And then we have Wood Hammer, Leech Seed, Superpower, and Protect. I'm not 100% on Superpower yet. I guess it's going to be good for Porygon 2, so that's what we are going to calc against. It's Porygon 2. Then Leech Seed just to get recovery along with the Grassy Train and leftovers, and then Wood Hammer just to body some Pokemans. So let's look up against Porygon 2. We're going to go to the Common Showdown. I don't know what everybody's deciding to run quite yet. I haven't looked into EVs for Porygon 2. But we can see here from at least this Porygon 2 we're living an Ice Beam. Our Superpower is only doing a little over 50%, but spoilers for future Pokemon, we do have knockoff on this team. So if we're able to knock off the Eviolite, Superpower is doing a lot more. Obviously still on 1 hit KO, and actually Wood Hammer is doing a lot more than Superpower, so maybe we don't even keep Superpower around. That's something we're going to have to look into. Maybe we put Stone Edge on this Bulu, maybe we just switch out Wood Hammer and go straight Grass Bulu. So we'll end up seeing how that turns out. If you guys have suggestions for my Tapu Bulu, please be sure to let me know. I'm not even against getting rid of the Tapu Bulu, to be honest with you. I do like the grass typing, but maybe we put in Whimsicott there so we can have Tailwind. We'll see. We'll look into it in the future. But I do like the Earthquake resistance for some of our other Pokemon coming up with Bulu, and then able to downgrade the damage from Earthquakes. And also, if you wanted to see Tapu Bulu, I suppose we could go back to the Showdown. Here's the Tapu Bulu, leftovers, Grassy Surge, Protect, Wood Hammer, Leech Seed, Superpower, with the stats there. So our next Pokemon is going to be Arcanine. Now, a few of these items got a little weird just because I'm using a lot of Pokemon that want the same items. So I had to kind of make, what's it called? I had to make compromises. As far as items go, so typically you probably want Sitrus Berry, maybe leftovers on Arcanine, but I had to go Rocky Helmets because both my... Actually, I don't think I have a... No. Yeah, both Sitrus Berry and leftovers are in other places. Obviously, we just saw leftovers on Tapu Bulu. We'll see Sitrus Berry later. So we have Rocky Helmet on our Arcanine. This is just... Well, this is not your typical bulky Arcanine, as you'll see once we get to EVs, but it is bulky as far as the moveset goes. We have Intimidate for our ability with Will-O-Wisp, Flamethrower, Snarl, and Morning Sun. And then as far as our EVs go, we have 252 in HP, 252 in Special Attack, and then 4 in Special Defense with a Modest Nature. Now, the reason I went 252 in Special Attack is because, obviously, one of the major problems with the format right now is Celesteela. I wanted a really good answer to that, so that's why my Arcanine is so especially orientated rather than bulkier like they typically tend to be, and I haven't had problems with it yet. We'll see how it ends up going with the Battle Spot ladder actually once we get there, but so far so good. Now before this I actually had Burn Up on Arcanine instead of Morning Sun. I just forewent the recovery for Burn Up so I could one-hit KO Celesteelas, but then I realized, oh, Burn Up is an egg move that you can only get from Cyndaquil, and I didn't want to be bothered getting a Cyndaquil quite yet, because we're already so behind with actually getting competitive teams out. I couldn't be bothered to go find one, catch one, breed them. I already had a Growlithe bred, so that's why it does not have Burn Up right now, but we'll see if we have to end up adding it later. So let's see, I found Arcanine right away. So this is the Arcanine set, as you can see. We're going to go up against Celesteela, because that is the major reason that Arcanine is here. They just have physical mix and special attacking mix. I don't think they run theirs like this currently. I think they're bulkier. I don't think they're trying to do as much damage output. I think they're just trying to live for as long as they can. As you can see from this Celesteela, though, we are doing over 50% of Flamethrower, so it's a 2-hit KO. I'll put Burn Up on here just in case we end up ever using it in the future. And that is one hit KO from this Celesteela. But I'm going to actually go 252 in special defense. And I guess Calm, just to see how much damage we're doing here. Burn Up does not one hit KO. And Flamethrower does over 50%. Or 50% and over. So I'm thinking Burn Up might not be the best idea, because then we can no longer Burn Up afterwards. I think you might not be able to use Fire type moves in general. So I think just going straight Flamethrower is better. Personally, gets Arcanine a little more, what's the word? A little more longevity as a fire type Pokemon. So that's why we're keeping Arcanine like that. Also, Intimidate, Snarl, Will-O-Wisp. Just good stuff. Just good stuff. Not much to say about Arcanine, other than it's our Celesteela counter, really. And then next up is going to be Milotic. So new year, new us. Paige the Milotic is now gone. It's now Alexandria the Milotic. Is our female Milotics. And this is very reminiscent of the Choice Scarf Milotic that I used in 2015. I love that Milotic set. It was so good. You could outspeed Landorus Incarnate. You could outspeed Salamence and just destroy them. But now, we don't have to worry about Landorus Incarnate. We don't have to worry about Mega Ments. But I do still like the speed aspect. So what we have here is a new item called Adrenaline Orb, which this item, if you get intimidated by a Pokemon's ability, your speed goes up by 1 stat. So you multiply your speed by 1.5, and that's your new speed. So this is a very complicated EV spread, not your typical one like you see with Arcanine and Tapu Bulu, which is 252 in a stat. These are very precise EVs for killing certain things and outspeeding certain things. So we're going to go over to the damage calc for Milotic, which I believe is right here. There it is. So we're 250 or 244 in HP, 84 in defense, 76 in special attack, 4 in special defense, 100 in speed, modest nature. This should be competitive, but I don't think they have competitive on here. They do not. And the competitive ability, for those of you who are not aware, if any of your stat gets dropped by your opponent's Pokemon, it can't be your own Pokemon dropping your stats. It has to be an opponent's Pokemon. Your special attack stat goes up by 2. So this goes into play with Adrenaline and Intimidate. If you get Intimidated, not only is your speed going up by a stage, but your special attack is going up by a stage. So you multiply your special attack stat by 2. That's your new special attack stat. Also, we have no moves apparently on here, but I am currently running Scald, Ice Beam. Now, I would run Icy Wind on here, but we can't get Icy Wind for Milotic in VGC 2017 because it is a move tutor move, and you can only use Milotics from Alola, so you obviously cannot get Icy Wind, unfortunately. So I do have Recover and Protect on here currently. I have seen Hidden Power Electric Milotics. I might look into that for like Pelipper's and stuff, since I don't have an electric... I do have an electric type on the team, so I might not worry about it too much. But, so this is our Milotic. So the first Pokemon I have to look up against is Salamence, obviously. One of the biggest Pokemon that is going to work out for young Milotic here, because this is a Pokemon with Intimidate on it. Now, the biggest Intimidate users in the current meta are Salamence, Krookodile, Gyarados. I think that's the only... and Arcanine. Gyarados, obviously, we're not going to have a great matchup with, but... they also really can't match up against us. So that's another really good reason to carry Hidden Power Electric. But again, we'll see if we end up adding that or not. So we can see here that Ice Beam actually KOs the Salamence without the boost. So even if we have to bring it in later on the Salamence, it's not a huge deal. But with this speed stat, we do outspeed a Salamence after the Adrenaline Orb boost. Now I actually want to bring up my calculator. Come on, computer. I just want calculator, please. There it is. So I've got my calculator here so I can show you guys some calculations. So if we go 114 times 1.5, which is how much you get boosted by one stat, it goes to 171. So we're easily outspeeding Salamence, but we also want to look at Garchomp, who I believe has a little more special defense. Yeah, it has 5 points more special defense than Salamence does, and that's why we have this specific EV stat, because it it KOs Garchomp without the +2 boost when it has 4 invested in special defense. Now, I mentioned earlier there are Assault Vest. Our Assault Vest Garchomp might start becoming a thing, so I'm going to put that in there. Obviously, we're not doing as much there. It is still quite a bit of damage, and we can take hits from the Garchomp, but that's just something to be aware of now that that might become popular now. But we can one-hit KO non-Assault Vest Garchomps. And then, again, with the speed stat, we go to 171, which is 2 points higher than this Garchomp can reach. I believe we're at 171 because I can't... I think it was just to guarantee that outspeed. I could have went to 113, I guess. Actually, let me see. 113 times 1.5. Just outspeeds by 0.5. Oh, yeah, so, yeah, I went to 114 just to guarantee that we outspeed Garchomps. But we do have to be intimidated, so I guess we'd have to be intimidated by Gyarados or Arcanine. Typically, with a Garchomp team, you're not going to see Salamence or Crocodile as much because they cover Garchomp's typing. But yeah, that's just something to be aware of to outspeed Garchomps. We're going to look up against some other things too. Arcanine. This is the Common Show. Apparently, Common Showdown set's the exact same as my set, so... maybe I didn't do too badly, but we're not KOing with Scald before the competitive boost, but if we get competitive, we want to hit KO Arcanine, this Arcanine at least. Other things I have written down, Marowak. Alolan Marowak. This is the first time we're going to be calcing against the Marowak. We do knock out with competitive boost here. We don't quite knock out without the competitive boost, though. So again, just things to be aware of. Now we want to look at some defensive stats, because obviously you can see we're not very defensive. We do have a lot of HP, and I did make it so it has an odd amount of HP. I just like having an odd amount of HP unless we're doing like Sitrus Berry or something like that. So that's why I didn't go full HP. Put a little bit in special defense because I just automatically know that Milotic isn't going to be great against the electric type attackers in this meta, and that's why we have Garchomp and we have Tapu Bulu to resist. So we also have another little tech for Milotic that we'll get to in just a second here. We can see against the Circuitry, Thunderbolt has a chance to KO Milotic here, which is unfortunate. But at the plus, if we get the speed boost, we outspeed Circuitry. Again, we go to 171. I just got rid of that thing on the calculator. But we go to 171. We already saw, so we do outspeed Circuitry. And at +2, how much are we doing? We have a chance to KO with Scald at +2. So that's something to look forward to. Also, Tapu Koko. I don't believe we live Tapu Koko. I think we have a chance to live, but and we have a chance to KO. We do not outspeed Tapu Koko. I thought about putting enough speed into outspeeding Tapu Koko and enough special attack to be able to KO it, but I just figured I would mitigate that. We do have other ways to get rid of Tapu Koko, so I'm not too concerned about it. Maybe in the future, if it does give us enough problems, we'll have to change our EV spread to be able to do that, but as of right now, I don't think it's too big of a deal to worry about. But one last thing we can look at for this Milotic, obviously you can tell I put a lot more thought into the Milotic and everything else. Crocodile, so again with that Intimidate, the competitive boost from Intimidate, we are one-hit KOing Crocodiles, and they can't even do 50% to us. And then even without the boost, we're still doing a ton with Scald, enough to where a burn would be able to take it out. So that is our Milotic. This is my favorite Pokemon on the team so far. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Not a lot of people are ready for it. And if you guys also watch the International Challenge, people aren't really ready for bulky water types. They're more leaning towards Tapu Lele for bulk. As far as bulk goes, Tapu Lele is really the biggest one, which isn't really very bulky. So Gastrodon did really good at the International Challenge, and Milotic was doing not bad itself. I don't know if it was a lot of people weren't using Milotic, or if it was that it wasn't doing very well. There wasn't a ton in the top cut though, but we'll see. Also, I didn't see any Adrenaline or Milotics as far as I know. I think they were just the bulkier variant. I think people weren't quite ready for Adrenaline or Milotic yet. They're still kind of feeling out the game, so we'll see if Adrenaline or Milotic becomes a lot more prevalent. Also, I want to give a shout out to Jacob as always. I got the idea I've heard of this set before, but I got the idea for the EV spreads from him. This is very close to what he has on his Milotic. I believe it's the exact same speed stat. I put a little more in special attack than he did, less in HP, obviously, with the 244 instead of 252. So yeah, go check out his channel. I'll try to remember to link everybody that I mentioned in this in the description below. But yeah, that's my Milotic. So again, I talked about trying to stop electric type hits from hitting this Milotic as much. We had the Tapu Bulu and the Garchomp, but I also wanted to add Togedemaru. Now, originally Togedemaru was not going to be on this team, but I was sitting there racking my brain for Steel-type Pokemon for one. I can't remember exactly why I wanted a Steel-type Pokemon, but then also, I just draw my pencil, I won't worry about it. But then, yeah, Steel-type and Electric-type I think I was looking for. And then Togedemaru, I was something that popped up, and like, doesn't he get Lightning Rod and like Fake Out and Encore and what was the other move I wanted him to get? Follow Me. Unfortunately, Togedemaru does not get Follow Me. It does get Fake Out and Encore. And as you can see on this set, I do not have Encore. Originally I did, but then I found out his Egg move, and I really sat down and thought about it and meant I don't really need it. So we'll see if we end up wanting to put Encore back on this team, but probably not. So Togedemaru here. We have 252 in HP, 116 in defense, 140 in special defense with a careful nature. Now you can see that 252 does bring it to an even amount, but that I prefer that because we are Sitrus Berry Togedemaru. So if we get hit by something like Nature's Madness from one of the Tapus, it will bring us down to a point where Sitrus Berry will activate. Just a fun little thing, I guess. It doesn't really matter because you won't see Nature's Madness as often as other moves, but I figured just in case, you know. So we have Fake Out Zing Zap, which is essentially an electric type Iron Head, has a chance to flinch, same base power. Spiky Shield and Nuzzle. Nuzzle is our speed control, and like I mentioned before, that doesn't really help us against Garchomp and other ground types, and also electric types. So that's why I'm thinking maybe we get rid of Bulu for Whimsicott, but Bulu is not hindering us too much at this point, so it's staying around for right now, but we'll see how that ends up working out. So let's bring up the Togedemaru. I have a lot less in as far as calcs go for Togedemaru, because he's just kind of there to fake out and then kind of hold out for as long as he can and keep Milotic alive. But we'll go with a 252, I guess, in defense. Actually, we're going to go max defense Celesteela to see how this is looking. Obviously, we're not doing very much to it. Nuzzle with Zing Zap, it is enough to like stop it from getting too much recovery, and we have a chance to flinch it. But I believe Celesteelas are starting to go a little more specially defensive to take on the Tapu, so you can see Zing Zap's doing a little bit more there. And then if we get rid of the defense nature, we're doing almost 50% with Zing Zap, and that's uninvested. So if you want to do a little more to Celesteelas, you can invest more. Again, this Togedemaru is not here to be putting out a ton of damage. It's just here to kind of eat up electric type moves. Obviously Garchomp's Earthquake is just going to body this poor little thing. Even in grassy terrain, it's most likely going to knock us out, so just be aware of that. Togedemaru does not like Earthquake. It is 4 times weak to it, and its defenses, it's kind of poop, to be honest, but it's enough to be able to survive a lot of stuff. So Togedemaru, that's really all I have to say about him. He's just kind of here. He's just kind of here. If I could find a better Lightning Rod user, I might use it. I thought about Marowak, but we do already have this Fire type. And originally I had another Ghost type on the team, but as you can see now, it is not a Ghost type. It used to be a Mimikyu, but then I just wasn't getting enough out of Mimikyu, so I decided, especially after watching, again, I keep going back to the International Challenge. Guys, I really suggest watching the live streams that Pokemon puts out from the tournament. You learn a lot about the meta from it. And I learned this from Wolfie Glick, our current world champion. He brought a Muck, and I just really love the Muck, and they were able to talk with him on stream about the Muck, and everything just clicked in my mind when he was talking about it. So I'm like, I want Muck on this team. I want Muck right now. So Muck, let's talk about him. So his name's Bird, because bird is the word from the Trashmen. I don't know, I couldn't think of a good Muck name. So this is Gluttony with Figgy Berry, Taunt, Poison Jab, Knockoff, Protect, 244 in HP, 68 in attack, 196 in defense, and an Adamant Nature. So, where do I start with this muck? So let's start with Gluttony and Figgy Berry. If you guys were not aware, Gluttony makes you activate your berry earlier. So at half health, I believe, is how it works. Let's actually click on it and find out. Gluttony. When this Pokemon has half or less of its maximum HP, it uses certain berries early. So, if we go to Figgy Berry restores half of your maximum HP at 1/4 of your HP or less. Confuses if you have a negative attack nature. Obviously, we have a positive attack nature, so that won't confuse us. But typically, where this would be activating at half or at a quarter health, is now activating at half health, and it restores half of your health. So you get down to half health, and all of a sudden you're back to full. So that's the whole point of this muck. Again, another very longevity Pokemon. Our Arcanine and our Milotic weren't as bulky as they typically were. They were relying on their natural bulk to live while they were dealing out damage and disrupting the opponent. Well, Togedemaru, he's built bulky. He's not the bulkiest Pokemon though. And then Muck is here to be bulky. He's our guy that's sticking around. So originally I had like Shadow Sneak on this thing. But I ended up getting rid of that for Taunt. I just really wanted a Taunt user. This Muck is here for like Orangurus. He's here for Tapu Lele's. He's here for all the Tapus, honestly. And then, like I mentioned earlier as well, Knockoff for Porygon 2, and also for Marowak. So we'll do a couple calcs with those. This attack stat, I'm honest with you, I don't essentially remember why I put that much attack in it, but I'll see if I can remember as we go on. So our first one is going to be up against Tapu Bulu, which, if you didn't know, 4 times weak to poison. Poison Jab with this EV spread KOs him. See you later, Tapu Bulu. Now Tapu Lele, who is a big threat, we didn't see a lot of them at the International Challenge, so we'll see how much they come back. But yeah, so this is our Tapu Lele counter. A max HP Tapu Lele, which again, I'm not sure how everybody's running them currently. They could be max speed, could be max HP. Poison Jab is almost KOing here, whereas their Psychic obviously can't do anything to us. Their Moon Blast is doing about 50, so it's going to activate our Figgy Berry. We'll get back up to full, and then on the following turn we can Poison Jab again if we need to. And that's another reason I got rid of Shadow Sneak, because it was like, I can't Shadow Sneak a Tapu Lele anyway, as long as it's psychic terrain, is that what it's called? Psychic Surge is up. But if we get rid of that HP, Poison Jab has a chance to KO. So maybe I want to go a little more in attack stat so we can one-hit KO Tapu Lele. We'll see. We'll see what I decide doing. Tapu Koko is one that we have to worry about as well, especially with our Milotic. Poison Jab, almost one-hit KOs there. So again, I might put a little more in attack, just to make sure that we're KOing some of these Tapus. Because I think that's kind of important with this muck. I know with Marowak we don't want to hit KO as well with Knockoff. You know, Knockoff's not doing quite enough here. And Bone Meringue has a chance to KO, but that's without our Figgy Berry. So if we're full health and we get hit with a Bone Meringue, the first one should bring us down to a point where Figgy Berry activates, bring us back up, and then we can take another one. And then that was another reason I kind of wanted Shadow Sneak on here. So again, maybe we'll get rid of Protect for Shadow Sneak, just have a Protectless Muck. I do kind of want to keep Protect because we do have our own Earthquake on our team, but we're going to be calcing Earthquake as well, so I can show you how well we take those. But then if we look at Oranguru here, this is not how Oranguru is built, let me tell you that much. Let's just go max defense. I know they're also not max defense, but we can at least get an idea of what's going to be happening with these Orangurus. So Knockoff is doing just under 50% here, but what if we're doing over 50% with a 0 defense? Obviously, Oranguru is not going to be is not going to have no defenses. That's just not going to happen. So we'll see how we end up taking on Orangurus. But we obviously do have Taunt if we need to. We could lead Togedemaru, fake out the Oranguru, knock off the Oranguru, and then taunt it on the following turn. Just ideas for you guys. And then Porygon 2, there is no way in hell we're one-hit KOing Porygon 2, but like I mentioned earlier, knockoff is just does good damage to it, and it gets rid of the EV lights, so that maybe like Tapu Bulu or Garchomp or somebody else can take care of it. Actually, Tapu Bulu and Garchomp are the only other two that could take care of it. So there is that. And then like I mentioned, Garchomp, the strongest earthquake currently in the game, is doing under 70% to us. So there's my... Sorry, my bearded dragon is puffing up and opening his mouth. I don't know what his problem is. But yeah. Anyway, Earthquake is not. It's not even doing 75% to us. And then if we have the Grassy train up, not even doing 50. So cool. So that is our current team. Again, I might look a little more into this attack stat for Muck. Luckily, I've not started EV training my Muck yet, so I can still tinker with it a little bit more than I could with my other Pokemon. The other Pokemon, I'd have to get the berry, and it'd just be a whole thing. But anyway, guys, again, let me know what you think about this team down in the comment section below. Again, what should I change? Again, this Muck is probably going to change quite a bit. I'll probably put Shadow Sneak here so we can pick up some Marowak KOs, put a little more attack stats so we can pick up some more Tapu KOs. Yeah, I'm thinking that's what we're going to have to do. But anyway, I know why I put this defense status, so I could live Bone Ranks from Marowak. But I think we can go a little more lenient with our defense stat. Let's actually look into that right now. Marowak. So as long, well, the Bone Ring has. Oh no, we have to remember that this is 2 hits. So we can have these. So let's take a little more defense out of Muck. Let's see here. 116. So if one hit, yeah, because one hit will do a little over 50, and then we'll heal up, and then we'll do a little over 50 again. So we should live a Bone Meringue with the Figgy Berry. So then that means we have a lot more to put into attack. So if we go up to 148, how's that looking against like a Tapu Lele? Tapu Lele, Poison Jab still is not one-hit KOing a Tapu Lele. It's getting a lot closer to KOing. And that's the max HP one. I assume if we take HP away, we do hit one-hit KO Tapu Lele's. Tapu Koko, on the other hand, has a chance to one-hit KO Tapu Koko. So I'm liking this a little bit more. So with our Muck, we're changing right on the fly here. What was that stat? 148. 148 and 116. So maybe I'll take this to a few rounds of Showdown just to make sure that I like this, and then we'll see if it changes before the first episode. Obviously, I'll let you guys know if that does change. So be sure to keep your eyes open for this team to be in action on the very first episode of, I'm going to be calling this series Waywards to Worlds, because we're going to be working to get to Worlds this year, guys. So be sure to join us on that journey, and we'll see you guys next time. Again, leave your suggestions. If you have any suggestions for teams I should try out, be sure to leave those in the comment section below as well. And we'll see you guys next time. Stay sharp, everyone.